It's Wolfy-Chan, and I'm back with another manga review, and this one is of Kakegurui Volume 1. And boy, howdy, am I in love. Huh. To be truthful, this one, like, I can't tell if you can tell or not, but this is pretty thick than, like, a normal manga. So, and once again, I don't know if it's just me, but I have a feeling it's just probably, like, the way the manga is, but it's upside down. And it goes from this side. So, yeah, I don't know, but I love it, and I love the style of this one. Um, so of course I've watched the anime, and I fell beautifully in love with that. So when I saw the book, I had to read it. Uh, I'm just happy now that I know some of the names and how to pronounce them. Oh, Yumiko. Yumiko. I love you. So this is about. I don't know if it's more about our main character, Yumiko, or our main character, I think his name is Saizuki? Let me just, excuse me a minute, um, yeah, your name is Fido, it's very sad. Yeah, where is it? Uh-huh. Susie? Suzui? I'm gonna go with Suzui. Um, uh, but he is, when we first meet him, is a pet because he challenged, Mary into a game of cards. I believe it looked like a game of cards, and he lost. So he lost his status of being a normal human being to being a pet, which this is a all gambling school. Ah. And your reputation, all that stuff, is dependent on how good of a gambler you are. So the differences between anime and manga, the manga actually explains more of the ranking system and more of the popularity scale and all that kind of stuff, which is actually really, really awesome. I didn't really see that much in the anime that there was popularity stuff, but it also gave me kind of like how much you need to get out of one being a pet, which is 1,000,000 yen. I think it's less money for us. But you also have to pay the student council a fee for basically going to school, which is like 250,000, or if not 1,000,000 donational money, just to have them kind of off your back. Um, so if you bet too much money, you cannot physically, and you can't physically be able to pay it back. You are then destined to be a house pet. And that's where our poor guy turns into. He is a Fido, which guys are Fidos and girls are Mittens. Don't know why they didn't go with cats and dogs, but okay. Maybe a little too on the nose. But in steps our awesome heroine or junkie. I would rather call her our hero who's a junkie. That sounds about right about her. Love. Yumiko Jabani. Jabane. I can't get her last name right unless I watch the anime. It's been a while. So Yumiko transfers to the school, and everyone's kind of like, oh my god, new girl. And Mary basically kind of wants to put her in line the first time she gets there. And so she's like, after like a couple, or at least the first period, she goes, wanna gamble? And of course Yumiko is like, yes. Because our main guy shows her around and stuff like that, tells her about the gambling situation, and she kind of gets the fritters of, oh, that sounds wonderful. I'm glad I got here. And so she gambles with Mary. And it's rock, paper, scissors in card form. And of course, it's just kind of like the anime. Suzuki, I think his name was Suzuki. I really died sucking names. I feel so bad for the guy too, because like, oh god. Sad days. Yeah, can't remember the poor kid's name. I feel so bad. Can't remember. So he shows around and is basically kind of together with them. But he is behind her the whole time as they're playing the card game. So, of course, a couple rounds hit, and Mary wins one, or Yumiko wins one, and then Mary wins one, and they're kind of like, oh no, I'm out of money. And she's like, oh, but I want to do more. And she's like, do you even have the money? And then pulls out wads of cash from her bag, slams it on the desk, and is like, is this enough? And Mary's just like, having another person indebted to me. Love it. Sure, we'll go another round. And so they go a bit more, and she tells Mary that she knows that she's cheating. That she knows that she has most of the class in her pocket, and that she's forcing at least most of them to pick what she wants. And Mary's like, you don't have any proof, and of course she has, I believe it's all scissors. And it would be very hard to get, like, rock, or no, she's got all paper. And not a lot of people picked rock or scissors. Yeah. And so she pulls out the, paper card, because it's going to be rock. It's mostly rocks. And so Yumiko's like, I know you're cheating, and you're not really going to win this. And she's like, you don't know this. You don't know anything. And she pulls out a scissors, which were supposed to be very rare. And then, and of course, Mary can't pay her back. Not right away, at least. And so she's like, you know what? In this one, she fully admits, like, you know what? You don't have to pay me back. Let's have our debt be squared here because of the look on your face. And walks out of the classroom. With her crazy eyes. When she admits that she was cheating and then wins it. Yeah. Which then our proud boy goes over and is like, how'd you know? And she basically tells him, like, I knew it was you, but I know it was against your will. Here's the money to pay you back. And it's $1 million yen. Or just enough. And he's like, I couldn't take this. And she's like, take it. You are my true friend now. And I just want you to be okay. So next day he becomes not a Fido. Woot. But of course Mary is left with a doll that's ripped up and her desk kind of scratched out because that's how it is in the school. They do that basically to tell you that you're lower in the cast and not special anymore. So Yumiko and her now best buddy, who I think just should date each other. I still think that. Even though she's my Wolfu. She's mine. But they go to lunch and he's like, you should be easy on, gambling with people. There's not a lot of people take this a little too seriously, and I don't want you, going down the rabbit hole and never being able to come out. Next up, meet the girl who cheats because her parents own the card company and is really into nails. Like, really into nails. So, second day of school. Second day. She basically asks her, hey, we should gamble. And she's like, oh my goodness, yes. And then go and, highest stakes. And she's like, I don't really have that much money. Where Nail Girl, who friggin' rolling in dough, is like, I'll let you borrow it. Why not? And she's like, oh, thank you. Starts playing this game of memory, which it's 2 decks memory. Of course, the first session, Nails Girl wins. I know. But Yumiko really, doesn't want to be defeated. You know what? Just give me a little bit more. I swear it'll be awesome. I promise. And she's like, instead of lending you money, why don't Case pour up nails? And like in here, I don't know if I can find the page of it. I hope I can because it's a really awesome page. Do. Yep. She's weirdly into gambling stuff, memory cards. And it's kind of weird because it's only a slight lose. So, yeah. So, I don't know if you can kind of see it or not, but those look pretty real to me. So, somebody like probably made fake nails and then did art on them. But real life nails and that, which I thought was cool. So she bets. She goes, okay, so we can play this, but you have to bet your hands and toes, and talks about how ripping them off would be agony because you're on your feet and stuff like that. So, but so she does, and like I'll bet your nails, and then she goes, well, I'll just bet money, kind of thing. And so she's like, I could tell that you're cheating. And of course, it's like a very small hint on the card. I didn't realize while watching the anime, because the anime doesn't portray it as much. Like, it shows that it's a bit bigger area that fades in and out, which, of course, would be very noticeable. This is like a comma on the card that I was like, well, you can, like, you would be able to notice it, but it's a mini comma. Okay, you know what? Eh, eh. But Yumiko is like, I know you were cheating, and pulls out doubles like it's nothing. And I believe she actually wins the whole game by turning over all of the cards. Um, which, she didn't bet her the nails. She just bet her the money and won it. Oh god, so she's gonna be out of the student council and all that stuff because she is one. Eh. But then goes, oh, we should gamble more. You should put your own nails on the line as well this time. We should do more. We should. And then she freaks out. She's like, I can't do that. I can't. And then Yuma goes like, how fun. Oh, this is so boring. And then walks off. Which I believe in the same day, they go and see Mary's game. And Mary is put down into being a mittens. So she challenges one of the student council presidents, which you find out like student council presidents can bet enormous amounts of money, whereas like the normal people would be like $10,000 max, where they could do 20 million, 2,000 million, like they can absurd amounts. But to get her status back and not only be not a mittens anymore, she fights the student council president, not the president of the student council, but president of the culture club. So she fights that in a game called Life and Death, which is just basically you throw swords in, you put it down, and it lands in a number. If it's life, it has the blade up. If it's death, it has the blade down, and you're a potato. So that is kind of interesting part, but of course she's betting large amounts of money and finds out that she lost and loses. And she is now a house pet forever. Because you'll even see like a picture of her like, with the color on, like at different ages of her life, and she's like so pissed. When Huzzah, Yumiko, and our best buddy show up and watch the game, she's very angry at Yumiko, but then leaves. And the president of the culture club is like, would you like to play? And Yumiko's like, yeah, sure, I'm cool with that. Then they play for enormous $40 million. And they play, and like I liked in the anime they showed like a demon, and it's kabuki masks of a demon and a good person, I think it is, like the light and the dark, and they're in the background, not in this one though, but like she gets very angry as the game slowly starts to kind of go down because Yumiko is spurting out a lot of stuff, talking about numbers, and then telling her that once again she's also cheated. It's just a school full of cheaters. Who knew? So the school full of cheaters. This is also one. So she tells her that she can see that they have her members have these magnets because it. I didn't understand it as much in the anime, but in this one it's like they pierce both the tops and then they pierce the bottom as well. And so you have two of them right there, but it's piercing. And it's basically a magnet to move one of the magnetic swords wherever they want to. And then let's go when it drops. But it's still kind of, you don't know if it's up or down though still. Unless the polar opposites are in a certain way on the hand. But she finds out that it's like, she put all of it on 24, which didn't land on it. And so they don't win, but she still loses. So she turns, I believe she's going to turn into a house pet Yumiko, but it's not specifically said right then and there because it's the end of it. And the actual student council president comes up, and is like, nobody wants to look underneath the cup to see who lived or died. They don't. That she finds out that she was okay, yay. And student council president is like, oh, how lucky you are. And then as she's walking out, she's like, our best buddy is like, why'd you bet so much on that? And she talks about how people who would cheat in games like that, there'd be, it's a dice in a cup, and people would see in the bottom, and you could kind of see through where the dice are, and they turn it over to whoever it was with the needle and win. The house would win more than the people. Which is really cool to kind of know, but also weird. But she went to the bottom class room below it to see if there was like somebody there to kind of demagnetize things. And she kind of makes the thing that it probably did land in 24, but the girl kind of slipped her hand away kind of in a different pattern, which probably pulled the sword away from where it was supposed to. But she would have won. But she just loves gambling. And now she wants to fight the student council president. And that's how the manga ends. It's awesome because this one gives a lot more detail about the ranking system, the popularity, how fast people can fall, stuff like that. All about these kind of different games, the different chips and stuff. I love this. This is an amazing read. It is a thicker read, so it's 2-dayer. It's like a 2-dayer. It's too thick. But it is pretty awesome, and I do recommend, if you liked the anime or saw it on Netflix, which not sponsored by, definitely give it a check out because I loved it. I will try and find the next manga and try and read it in the future, but that is in the future. So, if you liked this video, definitely leave a like. Leave in the comment section below, what did you think of Kakegurui the manga, and if there was any differences that were really apparent between them, or which one you like better. Totally up to you guys. And definitely don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that big red icon in the bottom, for more anime, manga, or just something old or different in either genre. Or an anime game. Who knows? It's the future. So, yeah. And I got more manga coming up, as well as anime that I need to watch. So, whew. And if you want to follow me on Twitter or Facebook, the links are down below for either when I go live on Twitter, or if I are live on Twitch, or if I do something poll-wise. Who knows? And I hope that you've been having a very wonderful day. Wolfy-Chan out. Bye.